Round 22 trades now. Currently one trade for myself, and that is the one I've been mentioning all week. It is ICAT coming in for Nwangi Tawaze. Leaves me 17k in the bank, and team value overall still in a pretty decent spot there, 14.118, which is fun. And there's a few things that could happen over the weekend, and it's just going to be based off how things play out there. And we've got the 21 players with no loopers right now, but I'm looking ahead at next week, and I do have the 3 Tigers. The following week, I have the 2 Raiders boys as well, and Hosking, someone we've got to monitor in our team, and you should have to as well, given Matty Nicholson will return post their bye. And how that looks, does he take Hosking's starting spot? We're not unsure, but with his price at 664 and likely to sort of hover around there unless he happens to get injured or gets a 20 or something like that. If he goes sort of 45 plus, 41, something like that, then he'll generally be okay. And he could be a sell for my side after this 2 weeks when they have their bye following next week. So that's something I'm keeping an eye out on. Tarpany as well is someone we're looking at. Ruben Garrick at 563. But when you look at their run, their final 4 games of the year are pretty good. And I think when I personally would need him to play would be probably next week and the week after, definitely. With, having the 3 out Tigers next week and then having the 2 Raiders the following week. They do play the Tigers, Manly do, in round 24, and next week it's actually against the Raiders. So those are a few of the guys I'm worried about in the squad in terms of, around that 16th, 17th through 21. Right now, King Tonga and Latu Fainu there are the 20 and 21. Latu won't play next week. So gone around the roundabout. We've come back to it now. Right now, I'm actually tempted to loop Tarpanay and Hosking. And how this one would work, guys, is if they, considering they're on Saturday at 5:30 p.m, I have the following game is the Eagles, where Garrick could potentially be a starter in my side. Let's just say both Tarpanay and Hosking go pretty average. Then, so they go 38 and 39 or 41 and 44. Look, there's a chance I just play Garrick. The other option is I trade him to Britton Nickera for 580k. I think it's pretty fun, but use as an extra trade. I'm down to 6. It's it's still pretty solid. The other option, if one of those 2 goes well, I could trade Latu Fainu there, given he's going to be out next week, to Jermaine McEwen at that price. I think is a pretty solid one. I could then use him as a likely starter in my side next week. Hopefully get he got 38 or whatever it was last week. Hopefully get something close to that. 29 across his few games there for Jermaine, 38 or whatever it was, and then a decent score the week before that. He would come in as a looper. And given he is an edge, as you saw there when I typed it in, there's a couple of things I could do. Given it's the Roosters haven't played yet, I can slot him straight into the edge position and take Hosking's score and leave Tarpanay. The other one is if I like Tarpanay and not Hosking, I could have him in Garrick's spot and just take Tarpanay. So it's kind of a safety thing. Leaves me a few options, basically. The reason why I'd have those 2 down there. And Hosking has the 41 in him, and Tarpanay, he just has 40s apparently these days. So I'm looking to make some moves and sort of utilize the players in my side to try and get the best scores possible. When you have a few extra trades on some other teams, the top 1,000 that I'm in now has an average trade of 4.9. There's like over 100 people that are 1 or less. About 100 or just above. And then if you're looking at 2 and below, it's getting closer to 150 or so, and then it ends up higher from there. So actually, no, scratch that. I think 0 is like near 20, 1 maybe 60 odd, and then it's a lot more from that. So anyway, basically I've got a little bit of an edge on a lot of those guys, and there's some people that are near 10, and I'd suggest if you're up there near that number, that you should utilize a few of these types of moves. And for McEwen, he would help me out with some edge cover as well. So I do have the 3 right now, Crichton, White, Hosking, but guys like Britton Nickera could help me out as some edge cover. And Jermaine McEwen could do that, and is a guy that's likely going to keep his spot in the side. could help me with the looper this week. When we're looking at the rest of the team, pretty happy with where it's at. So, guys like Dewey, we should generally be fine. In 13, Trebojevic, Tommy Boy scoring well, 45 in a well-beaten side is good. Ikatoa goes in. Naf White, week to week, is going to be generally good, 50-odd into a 40-odd, but we can cop that from someone like him. Hopefully, ultimately near a 50 average, and he has the odd big game in his accounts. Be a Garrick, the one we kind of got to worry about a little bit, in King Tonga, because next week the 3 outs, I'll probably trade a couple of times anyway. So if I make one early this week to help me with the score, then so be it. It gives me a little bit of cash in the kitty as well to make some upgrades from like a Hosking, or if I need to upgrade a Garrick, or if there's an injury or something like that to one of these 600-ish K players, then I have that little bit extra in there to make that move. And probably sitting there myself looking at getting down to maybe after round 24. Round 24? Yeah. So 3 rounds away with 3 to go, probably with 2 trades left, because they're my 2 hardest ones. And then the last 3 weeks, we can sort of work it out from there. I won't have anyone on bye apart from Hines in round 25, and then no one in round 26 and 27. So restings will be the thing in those couple of weeks there. So this is kind of my general thoughts on how to push myself into a really good position in the overall ranks and beat last year. I'm already just ahead of where I came last year at 755, 775, one of the two. And hopefully with the trades I have remaining can keep going down. Let's have a quick look at some of the teams up top, and then actually let's go straight to the private group squad before we go to that. So 3 trades we're pumping out here, and a few of the suggestions led me to here. So Latu, Fainu, Celestia Fiketti, and actually Ruben Garrick. So we're going all in on a few of these picks. And Joe Ash comes in for a bit of wing fullback cover for Garrick, basically. And then Galvin and Katoa. So I think we only had the 2 halves outside of Campbell, who's going to be staying in wing fullback. So Galvin and Katoa coming in works out pretty good. And I think we can basically, in a situation where we loop out Drinkwater, if we like the score from, well, it won't be Galvin given he's the last game, but we'll loop someone like a Beau Fermor or those types of players. We'll see what position can we do. Yeah, could use Jack Bird up there. I think Hosking, we're a little bit short in edges, so I was trying to look at maybe we can get like a Britton Nicker or Preston with some of the options, but we can look at that over the next few weeks potentially there. So yeah, a few things to play around with. We do have Jermaine McEwen as the edge cover in the squad. So that's where the team's at there, leaving 5 trades in the bank and generally a pretty good squad. Like our worst player will be Bird, who's might be out for the foreseeable future. We don't know. Joe Ash should be number 20 and McEwen would be, I got 36 in the end. McEwen would be 19. Drinkwater would be 18 in this one. So yeah, pretty good spot with trades in the bank to be able to push higher up in the rankings, sitting at 3180. Now to finish things off, the rankings, boys. So Mr. Andrew up top, he has nobody out this week and a really, really high team value, as we know, after he trades Jerome Hughes. So likely just a 1 trade type of week for Andrew, and leaves himself with a few to go, which is good. And we'll just be leaving a few guys out, basically. Garrix, Cooks, Savala, we'll see how they where they end up in his side, and most of them will be down the bottom. Now, second has Tino in the squad still. I think is a bit lower on trades, but had a cracking week last week. So he's going to have Latu out next week, Dewey and May. So there'll be 3 out next week with Fiketti in the side, Tino out as well. So may have to make, whether it's trades this week or potentially the following week, to make sure things go smoothly. Now, Ryan in third has Kaipis Paul and Mr. T. Annan, what's his name? Taj. Good on you, Taj, making an appearance in a top 3 side. Fainu there will be out next week. Has Dewey and May as well. Has Hughes. So there'll be trades being made in this squad, which will be interesting to see. Jakey Boy's squad has Hughes as well, so we'll be making a move there. Down the line, Fainu. Yeah, pretty good, solid setup there. Doesn't have Adam Dewey, so that helps with just the 2 out next week. So might be looking in a better situation there. Jakey Boy I know Cooper's in a cracking situation. I'm very, very, very much worried about Cooper taking over control. If you are listening to this, Cooper, I would appreciate a little comment down below. I think you're the biggest dark horse, and it does say so on the YAF's website as well, with the amount of trades you had, and had a great week last week, so that made it tough, especially not owning Hughesy there. So still sitting there with Colo, and surprisingly haven't used him as a trade out yet. Maybe with Fletcher Hunt as a looper, Colo will be the guy to make way for another gun. So yeah, definitely the dark horse in this top 5. And then we've got Sam in there 6th, August 7th, Thames in 8th. My boy Tice, absolutely flying at the moment. A great score there. Has Kaipius Paul as a looper this week, along with Tristan Hope. Karapani as well. So we're probably looking at like a double trader in this one. Definitely Jerome Hughes, but Karapani could be used as well. There's probably no real reason to remove on from Tristan Hope, but Karapani at that price point, using Hughesy as well, could be a way to get to different players, but also doesn't have ICAT, so could go straight to that one there. Has Blake Brayley, Kaipius Paul, like really, really good players in this side. Edwards, so to be the decision on how to continue improving and get Farnworth back in. And if Hughes goes to ICAT, it's a very, very strong side. So congrats to all those guys there. We've got Nigel, we've got Harry, we've got Kurt, all doing some good stuff there, and good old Mungo versus JB. So we'll leave that there, guys. That's the trades and the thoughts and strategy and all the good stuff here. Heading into round 22, 6 rounds to go. Good luck this week, guys, and I hope you make your ranks.